All right, in case you need a little help with our review, I'm going to walk you through a couple of the problems, kind of show you what we're expecting in terms of work, how to kind of tackle the problem, and then it'll be up to you to tackle the rest of them. So I'm going to start with equivalent rates. This one is you're trying to decide if two different rates are equal to each other, if they're equivalent. So we start with any other problem, we read the problem, and then we always start with the rates. What information were we given? So the first one says determine if the rates $24 for 6 hours of work and $36 for 8 hours of work are equivalent. Well, first we start with the rates. $24 for 6 hours, $36 for 8 hours. So we start with our two rates. And our question is, are these two equal? Are those two rates equivalent to each other? Well, the best way to find out is to see how do they compare with each other. So one strategy is, can I simply multiply or divide to get from one to the other? Can I multiply something times 6 to get to 8? And while it is possible, it'd have to be a decimal, which gets kind of ugly. So that method's probably not going to be our best option. So here's our backup plan. And here's the nice part about our backup plan. It always works, okay? The first method works sometimes. The second method works all the time. So when in doubt, turn them both into unit rates, okay? If they both have the same unit rate, then they're both equal. They're equivalent. Well, to make them into a unit rate, we're going to divide by our denominator. So I'm going to divide 24 divided by 6 and get $4 per 1 hour. Then I'm going to do 36 divided by 8, and I'm going to get $4.50 for 1 hour. So I simply divided each of them by their denominator. I made them into unit rates. But notice I'm writing out my rates. I'm including my units. I'm writing everything out. I'm not just typing it in a calculator. Okay? A calculator is fine for the dividing part, but the rest of the work still has to be there. And then the question is, are these two equivalent? If you're making $4 an hour and I'm making $4.50 an hour, are we earning an equivalent rate? And the answer would be no, those are not the same thing. So when it says explain your reasoning, it just means one quick sentence. It's not equivalent because they have different unit rates. Simple as that. So you set them up as rates, we turn them into unit rates, and then we compared them together. All right, next one. Determine if the pair of rates are equivalent. Explain your answer. So this one's just like the last one. The only difference is the rate's already set up for us. We just have to do the work of comparing them. We want to know, are they equal? Well, I always start with method one. Could I simply just multiply by something or divide by something to get from one to the next? Well, to get from 14 to 49, I'd end up having to multiply by a decimal. It's not going to go nicely for me. So again, that method's not going to work. So when in doubt, turn them into unit rates. Okay, that's always your backup. Now, this one is going to give me some ugly decimals. That's okay. Remember, our calculator can give us the decimals, so don't worry about that part. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, got distracted for a second. So here, I'm going to divide by 14. 14 divided by 14 is 1, so 1 hour. 8 divided by 14 is going to give me 0.5714, and then it's going to be kind of a longer decimal, but I'm going to take the first couple decimal places. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my second one. I'm going to divide by my denominator. I'm going to divide by 49. So my denominator becomes a 1. 28 divided by 49 is 0.5714 lawns per 1 hour. I got the exact same decimal. It was an ugly decimal, but I got the same decimal. So in these cases, my two unit rates are equal to each other. So that means my rates were equivalent. If they have the same unit rates, they're equal to each other. So we would say equivalent because they have the same unit rates. That's it. All right, so make sure you have that work written down for the first two. Now it's on you to solve that third one. But model it after how we did each of these problems. Use those unit rates if that's the best method for you, and give that last one a try.